Okay, we're live.
I don't know where my headphones.
Oh, hooray!
Hey.
Cool. We're back.
Third time's a charm.
Hope so.
I hope so. Tina's
And we're back. Hopefully this time with less
It definitely still says
dust.
Yep.
I changed it. What do you want from me?
We're just gonna have to
change
eat
it
that,
better.
unfortunately.
I'll update it. Okay, hang tight.
All right.
Look, Tina's probably updated, but the internet has just said no. You're going to have to just live with that life decision.
Okay.
Which has done that to me before.
For the final time. For the final time, everybody introduce ourselves.
I'm Cole.
I'm Bo.
I'm Tina.
I'm Brian.
Hi, Forrest.
Yeah, I'm Cole.
Yep. Okay. Are we good? Is the stream still working?
Still working, so while
Okay.
Tina's fixing, we should probably get started.
Boy, today has just been technical issue after technical issue.
Right?
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
It's functioning.
Cool. All right, guys.
Still not called the right name though.
I'm changing it. Ah!
Anyways, let's go ahead and just start discussing things.
Yeah.
shall we?
Okay. Okay. Quick spoiler warning. Talking RWBY Volume 6, Chapter 11, The Lady in the Shoe. If you haven't watched it, time to dip. All right, here we go.
We won't be offended.
Yeah. Okay. So, moving right into it. Frickin' what's her name? Cordovan?
Cordovan, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I call her Atlas bitch.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait. Since we have the technical difficulty soda, though, can we all just take a drink real quick? Me
How
and Brian.
about Brian? Instead of
Yeah,
Atlas bitch, how about Atlas hat?
Angry
Oh
Orchard.
my god. All right.
I probably should talk into my microphone.
Look at these cucks as cucks.
I am underaged. I'm not drinking alcohol.
I
am.
am underage and I'm drinking water.
Okay. Brian,
Story.
tell us a story. Take us on an adventure.
So once upon a time, there was this company called Rooster Teeth. No. So yeah, this Atlas bitch. She. Oh my god. She just needs to chill.
I didn't
Atlas
expect you to
hat?
say that.
Yeah. She and her giant robot need to chill. Every time she says something about the glory of Atlas, I want to punch the screen.
I want to punch her in her front butt.
Oh my god.
This
So
technique has been passed down through the Armstrong line for generations.
No.
Yeah,
She
she's got a hard out for
basically,
patriotism.
She tries to shoot all of our RWBY peeps.
That's not patriotism. That's nationalism.
She tries to shoot all of our RWBY peeps, and Weiss just frickin' raises the earth and ice to block it. I didn't know Weiss was an earthbender. That's
I
a
think
really
it's
cool.
dust. I think it's the dust.
No,
she's
she's
No,
an
she's an
earthbender.
earthbender,
No,
Bo.
she's the Avatar. It makes sense
I
now.
don't think she's an earthbender.
She's
though.
the Avatar.
Avatar Weiss.
Yeah,
Like an
Avatar
Avatar.
Weiss.
I had to open my laptop because
Have you
guys
not heard of our
were so
Lord and
left
Savior,
out.
Avatar?
Good. That's
Hold my beer.
that's our goal, to make you feel left out.
Yeah.
You can have some.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
Look
my
at that.
own.
Yeah, they used the cover to strategize, which I feel like they did a pretty good job of like trying to subvert that anime trope. You know that thing where like two people move to punch each other and then they talk for like 5 minutes while they're
Dragon
in
Ball Z?
mid-punch?
Takes 3 episodes to punch someone.
Yeah. My Hero Academia is notorious for this, and it's totally okay because My Hero Academia is a great show.
You're right.
I think that's just my internet.
But I feel like this was kind of a little bit of the, like, okay, we've got this covered now. Let's all talk for a minute to strategize. And Atlas bitch does nothing.
Oh god.
That's
God,
because
what?
she's
Good lag.
Okay, nope, we're fine.
Okay,
I
we're
think
fine.
it's just my internet.
Okay.
No, it
with
lagged.
no
Oh.
tactical
Hang
expertise.
tight for a second.
Okay. Yeah, so they use that cover to strategize, and they decide when they're strategizing to give her basically too many targets to focus on. So they all split up, and that's when the action really starts. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about the action in this episode as we get further into it. But the action in this episode was on point. I'm
gonna go ahead and say
some of the best action, possibly the best action since Volume 3.
It was really, really
or
good.
in the show at all. Ever. Of all time.
So RWBY, one of the coolest things that stuck out to me was RWBY coming out of her semblance to snipe the robot. Like seeing it like fold back over her. That was really, really cool.
It's like
I love
one of my
that.
favorite badass RWBY moments now.
Yeah.
Just pops out, sniper rifle, dead serious, like I'm going to fuck you up face.
Natsu Dragneel says, I like Tina's hat.
It's a good hat. It's a good hat. You can I don't like RWBY. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't like Rooster Teeth. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't like Rooster Teeth. What is I love Rooster Teeth. They can adopt me.
But yeah.
Whoa, that's gay right there.
Wow. Okay, here you go.
So they wind up splitting up, and boy, Jeff Williams is at it again with that awesome score.
Back at it at Krispy Kreme.
Oh man.
I get it. Krispy Kreme.
So I wanted to take a moment to just kind of open I guess I'll run through the details of this fight. So I thought that RWBY running on the rockets was like the most anime thing the show has ever done.
But it's so good.
It was so good.
So good. And we kind of talked about it earlier and we cut the conversation short about how it's like, how does RWBY perceive things in her semblance? Like when her semblance is activated, does she perceive things in sort of the slow motion almost sort of feel? And we all kind of were like, yeah, we think she does. Yeah. And it just felt very like this is RWBY's perspective. And at the same time, this dramatic scene.
Yeah, it definitely fit like what we've seen thus far with I feel like because we haven't really gotten to see a lot of like what her semblance is like for her, because she's just I don't know how to word. This is why I shouldn't have had anything because I'm already like
You already can't English.
I already cannot even.
What is this even? Thou speakest stuff.
Wow, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool that you got to see it kind of in that slow motion.
Yeah. So that was awesome. RWBY and Weiss work together, and they're like hopping across ice patches. Team Juniper distracts. You know, and one of the things that really stuck out to me, and I'll talk about it a little bit later in the fight that happens later on in the episode, but watching this and watching the coordinated teamwork and everything, I just felt the spirit of Monty Ohm watching.
Yeah,
this.
it was such a good.
It was the first like big kind of boss fight since Volume 1, since the Deathstalker and the Nevermore. And I want more of those. Like
it was a really good pair up.
Like freaking
well, since the robot fight.
Yeah.
Like
Volume 2.
well, I mean,
it was a big build up. I feel like this has more significance
against like a giant enemy, like Shadow of the Colossus style. I want more of those. I want a RWBY game based around that. That would be so much better than Grim Eclipse.
Somebody said that in a part where RWBY had to cling onto the cliff. I know that's moving ahead a bit, but I would just say because she had nothing to boost off of.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that I think she has to be able to gain a momentum, and then she's able to kind of go, like,
propel
in midair.
herself.
But if she's dead stopped, I don't think that she can. It would be like running. You wouldn't be able to start running if you don't have any kind of thing to get traction on.
Yeah.
So I was literally just about to bring that up.
Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, it's gonna get lost. But okay, let's move right on.
Yeah. So Team Juniper goes and does some distractions, and Nora starts firing off her grenade launcher, and it turns out that hard light dust is a thing. It's something that Atlas has pioneered. And watching this, now I don't know if anybody else on this couch has seen Full Metal Panic.
I've seen the first half of the first season.
I'm a
I have no idea what that is.
I have.
Ian's watched Full Metal Panic. Great. I was watching this going like, they're full on Full Metal Panicking this, because one of the things Ian, maybe you can remind me what it's called, but there's this like technology that they have in Full Metal Panic, is another mech anime, that basically allows the mech to do ridiculous things and be essentially invincible, but it only works if the person piloting the mech is aware of the incoming shot and can, because they have to like will it to be blocked. So I felt like watching the way Atlas Bitch was. Oh my god!
I don't know why it makes me laugh.
You mean Atlas Hat?
Watching the way Atlas Bitch was
Atlas
fighting, it just
say
kind
every
of
time until it
it
gets it right.
reminded me very much of this technology that they used in Full Metal Panic. So it's like, wow, this is just straight up Full Metal Panic right now.
We're getting to that, Nate. Don't worry.
So RWBY winds up pulling some logic from video games, saying that the weak spot on giant robots are on the back.
Of course.
Turns out she's right. So, but it is proven that Atlas Bitch actually can't activate her hard light shield without essentially knowing where to put it. But she does end up firing off some stuff toward RWBY. And there was this really cool moment where she fired some stuff off into the water, and there was like a big wave that it created. And it was, I'm so excited to see Rooster Teeth incorporating more 2D stuff into the show, because that wave was 2D. And it looked really good.
I had a lot of the smoke effects.
It's kind of like the reverse of most animes nowadays. Most of them are trying to incorporate 3D effects into their 2D shows. But now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
The turns have tabled.
The turns have tabled, yeah. But I really liked.
The foot's on the other shoe.
Even talking animation this season, it's been so phenomenal. I think it really takes the cake. Even setting up this fight sequence, it's a whole nother ballpark, a whole nother game. But it really moves us to I think a new territory as RWBY fans watching it, going, yes, this is it. So, and we argued that some of these fight sequences were some of the best, I think, so far at all.
Some of the best.
Some of the best
The
in the
best.
whole dang thing.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it again to take notes, and so I have some thoughts on some of those fight scenes that we'll get to. But go ahead.
Just before you go, Brian, the word you were looking for was the lambda driver.
Lambda driver. Thank you. Yes.
The fuck?
Watch the anime and find out, Cole.
Why would I do that?
I'll be perfectly honest. First season, not a big fan.
Same.
But
that's not the show we're here to talk about.
So, anyways, yeah. So RWBY pulls this logic, saying that the weak spot on giant robots is in video games is always on the back, and she's right. So they get they basically manage to take out the hard light driver, I guess, and they manage to take the robot down enough to a point that they are able to put it down on the cliff, and everybody just starts hacking and slashing at it. But unfortunately, Atlas Bitch does manage to get up.
Atlas Hat.
And they keep fighting. Honestly, RWBY waving in the.
Her just being
You know, it's
saucy.
funny because
Clark.
that moment reminded me so much of when Milo in book 4 in the big final fight with the Colossus of Legend of Korra, when Milo like is breathing on the glass, and he just kind of waves and then flies away. That's what that really reminded me
That's
of.
10 out of 10. Oh, thank you.
I love
Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah. Anyways, RWBY ends up falling off. Weiss catches RWBY, and there's this great moment where Weiss is all like, "What would you do if I wasn't there to catch you?" And RWBY was like, "I knew you would."
I knew you were gonna catch me.
And then this sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's just White Rose fan service for.
We'll
Somebody
get to fan service later.
somebody said that. So Nora has a line in this episode where
Guys,
Hang on.
the stream went offline for a minute.
oh, I did it.
It's back.
No.
apparently,
I think it's back.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it back? Okay.
I think we hit it.
To preface this, that we are at a hotel in LA for Anime Los Angeles, as we have been for a few days, and as we will be until tomorrow. And the Wi-Fi is not the best.
No,
It's the best
it's
we
not.
can do.
It's the best we can do, and we're also in the lounge, and so people might walk in behind us. Sometimes.
The word you're looking for is preface,
Um,
not preface.
But
you know how it goes. You say potato, I say go fuck yourself.
Happens all the time.
Oh man.
I've been waiting all day to use that.
I want
line.
you to know I set you up for it.
Thank you.
That's
so
what
much.
just happened. It's my pleasure.
So, in any case, there is a line that Nora has where she says, "You get back here with my man." And I heard that apparently it was confirmed on Twitter that Renora was official.
Renora was canon. That was confirmed some time ago.
I thought, was it?
Well, I thought it was.
I believe it was confirmed back in Volume 4.
Was it? Okay. I'm just late to the
Yeah,
party,
when they
I
hold
guess.
hands, I'd call that being official.
Yeah, they
how
held hands.
rude.
It's
Yeah, that's.
Look at TV, that's like the
Um,
kissing.
We're sorry about the lag, everybody. There's not much we could do.
I mean, we're back. See, when it's green in the bottom right corner, that means we're functioning.
Yeah.
And now it's yellow and red.
When it's yellow, it's kind of like, all right, kind of go fuck yourself. When it's red, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna try something since it's really fuckety right now. I'm gonna see if
Barker
it'll
wants me to
record
hold your
and
hand,
stream at the
Brian.
same
So I guess
time.
we're holding hands.
Okay. And record the whole thing too.
There we
so
go.
that way
You're
we can
welcome,
potentially
Barker.
Just upload a better one later on.
And now Barker wants
Wait,
you to
no,
hold Brian's hand as well, Cole.
Brian, we need to put our hands off screen and like have it wrap.
I can't.
Have it like there we go. We're totally holding hands. It's like wrapping around.
Yep.
You know, like.
When did you guys reach across me? I didn't even see that.
Literally just like, you guys are a problem.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Barker said relationship confirmed
So,
between us, me and you.
Jean winds up protecting Nora with his semblance, but it takes out both of their aura when they get hit. Ruby didn't quite make it back to the cliff. She ends up getting stuck on the edge of the cliff, and as a result, Maria decides to take matters into her own hands. In any case, when that happened, I think somebody on the chat already mentioned when that happened. What was it that they said about that?
What?
Somebody in the chat, Ruby on the cliff.
That why didn't she just propel herself upward and let her go up? And I was gonna say because she had nothing to really boost herself off of. She's just kind of dangling on the cliffside.
Gotcha.
So.
So, in any case, Maria decides to take matters into her own hands. Cordovan,
yeah.
Cordovan. I always forget.
Wow.
She
You
doesn't
mean
matter.
Atlas?
She's not worth putting in my memory. I hate her so much.
Amen.
But in any case, essentially, Maria fires a rocket from the ship, and Cordovan winds up catching it, and throws it back. Which, like, Cole, I think you said something, and I agreed with you. It's like, how exactly does that work?
like
It's just anime logic. She's
I don't think it does. I think that's how it works. But they decided, you know what? All right, logic. Sure.
It's the same logic that Rocket's Y works on. Like
to be fair,
we do not talk about
That's
Rocket's Y, our Lord and Savior.
it doesn't.
I need more Rocket Dog in my life, please.
I need more Rocket Dog too.
Yeah.
Where's Y? Y is best character.
Y is best girl.
Wow.
So, in any case, Cordovan throws it back, and it manages to actually wind up taking the plane out.
Yeah, but with no actual physical damage to the plane, so.
Well, no, it blew out an engine.
Well, yes, but like you'd think there would be a big old huge hole punched in the plane.
I mean, I feel like you'd think that a part of the plane was missing, and it was.
Well, yeah, but you'd think
Was
there would
it?
be a hole in the plane, and it would be smokier than it was, but no.
Yeah.
All it was doing was smoking after it got shot.
I'll worship this Y.
But that essentially, that's where it cuts from that scene, and it moves into Blake and Adam. And so I guess before we get into that fight, because we have, I'm sure, a lot to talk about with that fight. How did you guys feel about this big mech fight?
You know, like I said, it was one of my favorite fights so far that we see in all of RWBY. It's just this massive battle. You see these characters working in tandem again. It was that same kind of magic, as Cole said, that I feel like we got with the Nevermore fight. But you got to see it in this new light with everyone kind of going, all right, let's put some logic down, let's make it happen, and then RWBY dropping a little nugget of, well, in video games, often things on the back, and it's like RWBY plays. This isn't that. Oh, we were wrong.
And then it worked.
Yeah. I don't know, Cole. How do you like it?
I thought the scene was cool. Don't get me wrong. I thought like the group combat was awesome. I want to see more of it, and I love that Ren was relevant in the fight. Because that never happens. I wish that the rest of the team was a little more relevant. The robot actually got battle damage from some of the strikes, because it looked like it didn't.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, and I really enjoyed it, and it was completely overshadowed by the action that happens next.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, probably.
Bo, what did you think?
Probably, yeah.
About the mech fight?
Yeah.
I honestly really enjoyed the fact that it was at times a little over the top. Like, especially like the, what did you find? What is it Allison said? Bright glowy thing. Like, it's like your obvious objective. It was like literally labeled like shield generator.
Authorized personnel only.
Yeah.
Pops off the back whelp.
Yeah.
Ian, what do you think?
You know, the only part that I'll say this now. This felt just a little slow. Like, if everything was moving at 1.5,
the opposite.
normal. Me. But I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Brian.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Effect was when we were seeing through Ruby's perspective of how she, like, the fact that missiles are.
Great.
It was just yeah, like there was a bit of a Deus Ex. You're conveniently looking for is conveniently in the same place as a video game, and also conveniently labeled shield generator. Please.
Okay, so really quick though, like RWBY has this moment where it's kind of like, oh well, video games, blah 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 blah. And it's kind of funny to me because she's this very kind of taken back, and you get to kind of see the kind of character she is as a whole, like who she is as a person in a silly little sense. And then Weiss is like, this is real life, this isn't a game. And it's like, okay, games can bleed into real life. But it's just nice because you see her element of like her personality show through, and yet she was right again. So it's like, tick one on the RWBY board.
Yeah.
Weiss, you're going to have to check it again.
I think what I liked about it was the fact that in particular is that with you're right, it's like, oh, all of that was very convenient, but that was 100% on purpose. Like, I think when they were writing the scene, they were like, this is a little anime tropey the way we're writing this, so they called it out, and being like, yeah, we are 100% playing to the tropes here, and we're doing it because it's funny.
Yeah.
Because
it definitely got a chuckle.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was like, I can't believe they just.
It's one of those things where like it's not realistic, and it doesn't have to be. Like, I can believe that if this ridiculous Atlas lady was part of the engineering process, that there absolutely could be something that intensely stupid as the weak point. Like let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's true. It threw me off for a sec. I got hit the right note with me. But I'm a critic, I'll say this now. But this was a really good fight. This was really well done.
Like, I'm good. I'm solid.
So how about you, Forrest? What do you think?
Well, I don't feel like when you have a giant mechanical thing with like parts, typically they label where labeled big obvious weak spot, do not shoot.
you know, I think it's more so like, oh, we gotta have the safety and have those precautions, label everything like hazardous, you know, shield generator, key, you know, caution.
Yeah.
And then the person who's like, oh, you made my life.
Well, right? He's got, you know, it's a big robot. There's a lot of robot there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this scene. I mean, we obviously, like, earlier on when we had the flashback fight with Maria and the bandits, that was really cool because you know, obviously we were dealing with, you know, there were very clear callbacks to the Nevermore fight from Volume 1 with that.
Yep.
One of the coolest things, like this, I think was very much like a callback to the Paladin fight from Volume 2. And like getting to see, if you recall, one of the really cool things about the Paladin fight, much like the Nevermore fight, was getting to see everybody work in tandem and see how they've grown and you know, how they're working even more seamlessly as partners. And I think that this kind of highlighted that growth even more. And I'm really exciting, honestly, to see it work out that way. So yeah, and very much like the way they were jumping back and forth between, it was very, very seamless, and like I said earlier, I got the Monty Ohm vibes from it.
Going off that, I feel like this fight reminded me a lot of the Polter.
From Volume 4?
Parker goes
From
this
Volume
Brian
4, yeah.
his
Like,
stuff.
and I remember
Ryan is
His
a dang
stuffs.
professional.
His stuff's plural. Okay, you guys gotta hold hands again. That's how this works.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna just dissociate so hard I don't realize.
Okay, continue. This is fine. No, did I say you could stop?
Oh. I'm sorry, producer Tina.
Get back to work.
Okay, no.
Employees must stop crying before returning to work. I've been wanting to use that.
You guys are terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had to make eye contact with Brian and tell him to.
Okay, was there more you were saying, Forrest?
not really. Just that I thought it was a fun callback, and just in terms of like animation quality, they've come.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
That fight felt really, I don't know, really jumpy. Like they jump here, a thing would happen. They jump there, a thing. Smoother, so much. Yeah, it was just a better version of that fight, I think.
Are we still talking about the robot fight?
I was
there
gonna
was.
say.
Let's. We'll talk more. I think we'll talk more about action because we got another fight to talk
Yeah,
about.
really quick though, I did want to say something. It's like people often want to point out the animation, but the animation wouldn't be possible without the amazing 3D modelers. Just saying.
Tommy plays
The
games.
quality of models and the
good
clipping and whatnot are
impression.
phenomenally improved.
Get talking to him.
Call police.
Tina's dropping some real shit right
But
now.
listen, like, even seriously, you guys, I pay attention to a lot more having to kind of do small-timey environmental art, but how things are done, the backgrounds, the texturing, how things are unique, because we pointed out even earlier on, the characters are unique, and nothing looks recycled. Everyone has this unique feel to them, so it's great to see them improve on those aspects and how things just lay out. Everything feels just different, and I love it. Nothing is very, copy paste.
So, let's see, where were we? Okay, yeah. So then we cut back to what I think was really the highlight of this episode, the Blake and Adam fight. Yeah. Oh my God. So we all watched it together, and all of us were like losing our shit watching this.
I was especially.
You talking about the second fight?
It.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And it's funny because Cole is losing his shit, and we're just like, no, Cole, wait. Just wait, Cole. Hang on, Cole. It gets better.
Because they had watched it before we had gotten a chance.
Watched it right in the morning.
So
I woke them up at 8 o'clock to watch it this morning. I woke Tina and
You're so mean to
roommates.
me.
You wake me up.
Nope, you were sleeping. Well, to be fair, we tried to knock on your door and you guys were dead.
That sure does sound like a problem. Of
so,
my personal variety.
In any case, yeah. So, we'll talk a little bit about so Adam's efforts here, like his fighting efforts, his grunts and whatnot, were I felt the energy behind those. Those were fantastic.
And when he was screaming at Blake, like his yelling lines were just particularly incredible.
Yeah, it's something that we've talked about in the past. Is that unfortunately, because he hasn't been in the show as much, Adam's voice actor has not had as much time to really grow as an actor as the rest of the RWBY cast. Because like all of the RWBY cast at this point, they're total pros. You know, they do such a fantastic job. They're really, really good. And Adam, unfortunately, has not had that same benefit. Because he just hasn't been around as much.
He hasn't had a chance, like you said earlier, to develop as a character efficiently. So it's been very angsty and edgy, and that's about it.
Yeah, and so it's been, I commented about it in the last episode, but really happy to see how greatly improved his acting has been just in these last 2 episodes. It's been it's been great.
Okay, but talking about the fight sequence though, kind of leading into it, there were, I think it was Cole, you said it felt like kind of combat-y sort of game moves, or was it somebody else who said it today?
It was Allison said it.
Oh, well, the fight sequences, I really liked how it played out. It felt like something that you would, I feel like, see believably for the characters happen, and it did, but it all was very fluid and had this good flow and all had the cameras flipped. I'm no expert on fight animation or even animation as a whole, but I have done martial arts, so there's some knowledge of like when something looks right, when something looks wrong. From at a glance, from watching it twice, it had such a good feel to it both times. It all flew, like just went very well.
This was easily some of the best fight choreography and like best
execution.
Just like the characters felt like they were fighting in character the entire time, and it felt like they were really, you could really feel that both characters were going all out it was like good, like just perfect good versus evil. Like
I really felt watching this, like I said, like with the previous fight, the giant robot fight, I was getting very Monty vibes from it. Watching this fight, I was like, we've come full circle, we have returned. Like, this isn't Monty's spirit. Like, they've done it.
Yeah. I feel like they've taken it and effectively kept, I believe, what was Monty with that idea, but made it their own. Like, this is their progress of it, and I think it's for the better. Some people argue, whatever, with Monty and whatnot, but they have done the best they can with the best that they've had, and they've just continually did what they should have done, and that is improve where they see a problem, and I think they've taken that to heart and done that.
Yeah, and I really do honestly believe, unfortunately I never got the chance to meet Monty, so maybe it's a little pretentious to this, but I feel like Monty would have been really proud of the work that the team did on this fight scene.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So, but during the fight, we see some big stuff happen.
Yeah, we do.
Blake's getting kind of, I guess, in a pinned against the wall or pinned against the ground situation, and then she hears Blake and just kind of goes, "Okay, well, I'm not alone." And here comes Yang in, all hardcore, drops Bumblebee.
Well, there's some cool stuff that happens. So first of all, Blake loses her coat.
Oh yeah.
And she looks super awesome.
And everyone, all the lesbians scream.
There was also one of the Monty moments to me was there was a point where the camera like zoomed way out and we saw both, like it was just like a single shot, wide shot of Blake and Adam fighting, And and Monty, I think, was like, that was a lot of his stuff, was like pull out and see the entire scope of the action. And so that that really struck home with me. The other thing too is that during the course of this fight, Gamble Shroud, Blake's weapon, gets destroyed.
I wonder what's next for Blake. Is she gonna fix Gamble Shroud, or is she gonna get an upgrade?
Yeah.
Because why go back to the same when you can get something better?
Upgrades confirmed.
I was like, wait, it broke? Excellent.
Okay, Gamble Shroud now, but with a rocket launcher.
I think it would be a little bit of a waste of potential for them to just repair it. I'm pretty sure that.
Oh yeah, she'll get an upgrade.
Yeah.
She'll get a replacement.
I'm willing to bet this is going to be the start of the cycle.
Maybe this is where, like, because her semblance and her fighting style has been very much based around her running, like trying to escape. Now it's been her like dodging it, getting back into the action, and just like really taking use of her speed to be more aggressive. So maybe we'll see a weapon and a fighting style that kind of complement her new personality better.
Agreed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's
And we're
really
better
good
to
sign of
get
character
such a
development.
from Atlas.
Protect people of the continent. The world.
Yeah, that's true. So, but in essence, once Gamble Shroud gets destroyed, Blake has been effectively disarmed. And Adam
Not quite as bad as Yang got, though.
Oh, God, you went there. You went there.
Cole.
Oh my God.
Hey man, somebody had to.
Somebody had.
But Adam removes his mask. The first time in 6 years we get to see Adam's face, and he has a nasty scar, a real nasty scar. He's got a Zuko.
Casually makes notes so we can go fix the model.
He's got a number.
Yeah, he's got a nasty scar with like a pattern on it. Was anybody able to discern what that pattern?
SDC, Schnee Dust Company.
Oh, really?
That's what we kind of came to earlier.
So there was
Did
someone
none of you see that?
I noticed SDC, but there was someone on or there was actually a few people on Tumblr that thought, and when I saw photos of it up close, that thought that it also was a number, like a number brand, that looked like 602. It looked like the number 602, meaning like maybe he was a slave and he was like, or he was obviously a slave or indentured servant, whichever it may be, and he was branded with whatever his slave number was, potentially.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards SDC
It makes
because
sense.
it looks more like SDC.
Maybe it's both.
It could be. It could be. I mean, but there is that. Either way, he was branded by someone.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't there a thing in the Atlas world of Remnant where Crow talked about? Did he say that the Schnee Dust Company used to use Faunus as slaves?
They use them as like really cheap workers.
As really cheap workers?
Slave
Okay.
labor.
Yeah, they do.
I seem to recall him specifically using the phrase slave labor.
That would be
Okay.
Well, no. Well, I think he called it slave labor because of how little they were getting paid. Because like, remember in Volume 1 when Blake was like, "Why Schnee, heir to the Schnee Dust Company," like the same company that like it uses really cheap Faunus labor and questionable business practices or something like that.
I feel like it would make sense why Blake, even in Volume 1, had such pain for the Schnee Dust Company and Weiss. So, maybe this is something that's coming full circle, and they're kind of, it's there, they haven't officially connected the dots, but like, you're like, it's this far apart from each other. You're like, so.
Yeah, so, anyways, he's got this nasty scar, but everything's okay because Yang's on her way. She's coming with Bumblebee.
Yeah, she's coming.
And then Adam monologues, as all villains do. I mean, at least all good villains. You can't be a real villain if you don't monologue.
That's true.
Exactly.
And he basically is talking about the fact that he's been hurt by people before, but what Blake did, he specifically says, "You didn't leave a scar, you just left." And apparently that's worse. So
For him,
I think he's
I don't know.
So,
it's a pretty nasty scar on his face.
He's so scorned, and I think it's not even the scar that bothers him. It's not what they did. It's the fact that the one thing that I think he held on to and had a positive thing with also broke him as a person.
Yeah.
They hit him where he thought no one could hurt him. And I think that's where it's sitting. I don't think he wants to kill Blake. Even though he's trying to, he's mad at her. He's really hurt. He has a little positive in his life, and that was taken even from him.
I think it would be kind of like Blake was the first time he really trusted somebody in a really long time,
Yeah.
right?